Hey guys, Mark with Think Insurance, and today we're going to talk about how agents actually get paid. So how does an agent get paid in the insurance industry? And it's really simple. So it's not like a typical paycheck. It depends on where you're starting as an agent. So if you're starting as a 1099 or if you're starting as an actual employee, there's different payment paths that people can take. And let's start with the typical employee. Normally an agent would make a salary if you're with some of those call center type positions. I've actually been in them myself where you get paid a certain salary. And I was paid anywhere between $29,000 to start up to about 40 to 50 some odd thousand per year. And that was not including any type of commissions or any type of bonus structure that they put into place. When you're in those type of positions, they're not going to allow you to own a book of business. At least it doesn't make sense for them to, because the way the company makes the money is in the long term. They're looking 8 years to 10 to 15 years out, depending on how long they normally keep a customer. So if they keep a customer on average, we'll say 8 years, they're going to only pay you a bonus structure for the first year or 2 years. You may get that up front, and then they'll keep the future income, and then that makes them a profit at the end of the day. If you're a normal hourly employee, you're going to make anywhere from 50 to 60 to 70,000. I actually did a full video I'll link at the end on how much agents actually get paid, so we'll go into more depth on that, and I'll link that right below in the comments. So to go back to that part, they're making a salary, they're making whatever that income is. That's how they get paid, is they get paid a regular paycheck just like you and I would on any given day. Now, their bonus structure is usually just mixed into your paycheck. It essentially, if you make whatever you make in your bonus structure, they usually pay it on one of those two paychecks if you're paid bi-weekly. So there's typically 2 to 3 other ways that agents get paid, and we're going to go over them in order, which is going to get a little bit more complex as we go further. But before we do that, I need your advice as well. I'd love it if you guys left me a comment below and let me know what part of this video stood out to you. What part did you love and what part didn't you like? As much feedback as possible. I like to improve these to make them the best videos that I can for you. If by the time you watch this, I have started a collection of agents, so these videos are typically for either future agents or upcoming agents, people that need advice on how to sell and whatnot, I'm going to put a link below, and what that's going to do is that's going to sign you up for reminders of when these videos go live. They're typically Thursday as of now, and I do other videos, but they're more coverage related and company related for customers, and you may not be interested in those. So if you're interested in me emailing you these links, that way you can watch just these specific videos, I'll put that below. Also, if and when I do a course, I'm going to link that so you guys have direct access to do that. Moving on to the second way that agents get paid is a hybrid version. So they essentially make a partial salary or a starting salary, and then they get incentives on top of it until a certain time frame. So I'll use an example. One of my buddies went to an insurance company in New York, and they paid him, I think, a $25,000 salary to sell. And then on top of that, he would get a percentage of any sale that he made based on the profit that the company made. And once he went a year into the policy or into his career, then they cut that in half. So now he only made $12,500, but now he's getting renewals. So he's getting a renewal book on top of that. So he's getting partial commissions back. And then by his third year, he has 0 salary, and he should be fully operational, fully income based on what he's written before, maintained and kept, and what he's writing going forward. The third way is the toughest, is you're essentially starting your own agency, is you're going to get paid all on commissions, 100%. You've got the skill to do it. You're ready to go. You're going to make more money doing that because you're going to get a higher percentage. Instead of the corporation, which is your insurance agencies or companies, instead of them paying you a salary and commission, they're going to be all commission. So that in commission goes up. But the cool part about that is if you're willing to do this and you're strong enough to get through it, I don't know if I am strong enough to get through this part. If you're willing to go through that part of it, you will make a lot more money long term, because they're going to give you higher renewals as well. So where you might get a 12% renewal on your half commission, half pay structure, you might get a 13 or 14 or even a 15% renewal. It doesn't sound like a lot, but when you get into a $2 million book of business or even a $3 million book of business, 2% of that makes a big difference. So there's one other way, and I'm going to get to that next, but I wanted to tell you all the little bonuses that agents typically get, because it's not just money. They also get vacations, they get promotions, they get these spin to win type things where they get instant cash. And essentially what those are is those are incentives. So if you're at your best and you're selling really well and you're doing great, these companies are going to reward you. If you're at an agency, they're typically going to give the vacations and the funds to the agency, and the agency will choose most likely to disperse it to their employees. In which case, if you're in their top group, you're going to get that. I've been to Hawaii, I've been to Florida, I've been to all sorts of vacations, I've been to see California, all different places where I've earned these vacations and these trips. I even earned a work from home position for a while, and there's all of these benefits. That's one bonus or additional way that you earn money. But in another way on top of that is that you can get these instant incentives. And what those do is they're just little like PayPal things where you can usually spin a wheel or play a game. And it's kind of fun to do because it basically means when you sell a policy, typically a home and an auto policy, they'll give you a spin or they'll give you a credit. And you'll play that game and you'll win $9 or $50 or $20. So it's kind of like your own little gambling fun excitement. And it's just a kickback that they do. Whether you sell the policy or not, you make the same incentive, the same amount. It's their way of promoting you to sell their company over another if you're not a direct agent. So if you're an independent agent, you're typically selling 3, 4, or 5 different companies. And that kind of gives you that edge or that reason that you might want to lean towards one over the other when the companies are pretty much the same. Legally, you can't do that if they're not the same. So if the benefit to the customer is that company A is definitely a fit and company B is not, you shouldn't be trying to get their little spin incentive because this guy does and this guy doesn't. It, one, will hurt your retention because the agent or the customer will realize that they'll get promoted eventually. And they're going to get shopped out eventually. And if they notice that you screwed them, they're not going to stay with you. On top of it, it's illegal. You can't do that. Go look up AIG. They are in all the books and all the guidelines. They did it. They were not the best. Now, it's a whole new company today. They've revamped it, rebought and all that. So I want to disclose I'm not saying the AIG today, but it's what your licensing exams talk about. So it was a thing that happened in the past. Be very careful that you don't go down that road. So the last part and kind of the bonus piece I wanted to talk about is the agency itself. So if you're the agency owner, you're going to notice that that agency gets commissions based on the sales overall. They don't make a salary from the company or anything. They're the ones that pay the salary. So if I were to open up my own agency, I would basically be in charge of paying my employees whatever payment structure I wanted, but I would have to contract with the insurance companies. I would have to deal with, okay, we're going to get a 10% renewal. No, you know what? That's not fair. We're selling X amount of business. We should get a 14% commission. And that company has that pull to have those conversations with the actual management of the insurance company. So that's the biggest way, is when you become an agency owner, you have those connections where you can kind of build those contracts based on the amount of volume that you're doing, what's working for you, what's working for them, what's overall a good fit as far as a company and an agency goes. If you're that type that is definitely going that route, I would let you know that it's amazing. You're going to make the most money there. It's also the most stressful, the highest portion of the business, because you have to deal with the employees and all the bonuses and all of the structures and the complaints and E&O insurance and all of that stuff. So building your own full agency where you are the head of it and you're going to have multiple people work underneath you, that is a lot of work. Now, I'm also going to go into depth on that as well. Not as much, because this is more for kind of the beginning or intermediate salespeople. So if you're looking for those high-end trainings, this might not be the best fit for you. Otherwise, definitely hit the subscribe button. Like the video if it was good. Leave me a comment below and do let me know what advice that I gave was good to you and what you liked or didn't like about this. I'm Mark with Think Insurance. I will see you in the next one.